Yo, what is up, everybody? Today I'm gonna be doing a little quick trade recap of my loss this morning. Just gonna be going over what I did right, what I did wrong, and what I can improve for the future. Mainly just making this video because I want to show you guys how, even if you have a trade that you think has all your confluences, and if you lose it, you're gonna want to blame market, and 99% of the problem it's probably gonna be on you. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Right now, going into market open. There's the 4 a.m. candle, or sorry, there's the 2 a.m. candle. Basically, I was just looking, saw this gap right here for buys. Wasn't really too married to buy. I actually didn't even really like buys that much. I was really looking at shorts because, I mean, look at this. We're just looking like definitely long term. We're definitely bearish, but I wasn't opposed to taking a quick little buy if the opportunity presented itself. We also had this gap up here. Didn't really pay any attention to it. We also had this 4-hour gap here. This one was way too high. This one could have been tapped, but probably not. I'm gonna take it off honestly because just to not cloud the screen. Let's go on the 1 hour. Let me go to the 8 a.m. candle right there. This is previous to market open, how the 1 hour was looking. You know, looking for sells, like I said, still the same story. Like, you know, kind of not kind of, actually pretty bearish. Would have liked the retracement back up into here. This is just some of the stuff I was looking at. We could also mark out this whole thing. If there's two gaps back to back, I honestly just mark it as one. Going into 15 minutes, same story. Honestly, a lot of gaps within gaps. I will point out these two gaps though, and I'll explain why later because that is involving one of my mistakes. So let me take off this 1 hour gap because it's easier with the 15-minute gap. Just remember there is a gap there though. So basically, this is how I was looking, right, going into market open. Let's go down to the 1 minute. You know, ideally, not really this 15-minute gap. I didn't care too much about this 15-minute gap. I marked it out just to remember it's there, but if you're looking at it, it's not really holding up. Like, to me, that doesn't look like a very powerful gap. That's just me with market experience. You go to the 1 minute, market open, we immediately dump, hit my liquidity and the fair value gap I was looking at right away. So, okay, I was okay with taking a buy. Would have taken this fair value gap right here. This would have been really nice to me. And then when we go, you could see that looks like a close, but we didn't close, right? One more candle, and then when we inverse it, completely shoots through. So I was waiting for a retest, like maybe around like, oh, that's a short position box. I was looking for a retest, maybe like, I don't know, like I would say here, just so my stops weren't anything crazy. I just wanted to target this 15-minute gap and have at least a 2 RR. So it was more realistically like probably around there. Yeah, that's actually perfect. 50 point stop and a 2 RR. And when we go through it, it just never retested back down. It happens with trades. That's okay. That's not the part of the mistake I made. I shouldn't have entered on this because my stops would have been way too high. That's not the point I'm making. What I should have done was use my brain and go to the 5 minute. I completely forgot there's a 5 minute. If we scroll back, we tapped into market right here, you would see that we would have this gap put in. That was literally a 5 minute hammer after we touched this. I mean, some people would literally enter off this candle alone. I don't. I mean, I enter IVGs, but either way, look, one candle IVG, right? And I know it hit this gap and it came back down, but we're still IVGing. We still have a 5 minute CIZ, and also it looks like we reacted, but to me that's kind of like we just mitigated that gap, came down, and then we're gonna go back up. That's what I'm thinking, because like I said, that gap wasn't too powerful to me. I would have put my stop at the low though. I mean, that's crazy. I would have put it at the candle, and probably targeting this gap. I mean, to me, that's a very good target. 2.4 RR would have been a very clean trade. I just forgot to look at it. Would have entered here. Probably would have had my break even at this fair value gap because I can see the possibility of us reversing off of this gap. But you go on the 5 minute and instantly just rally to my take profit. I don't know why I didn't take this. I didn't see that. I forgot about the 5 minute gap. Maybe because I was kind of not married, but maybe because I was like, okay, I missed the 1 minute entry, but I know we're pretty bearish. So I was focusing on a bearish. I was focusing on a sell. So what I actually ended up taking live was I didn't take anything out of this gap. We didn't have an entry, but even if we did have an entry, I still wouldn't have taken it. I don't like this gap. I know this gap is just going to get mitigated and inversed right away. However, I did like this 15 minute gap. and I took it on the 1 minute. So I'm gonna show you how I played out in 1 minute. Tap right there. Tap right there. Inverse and CISD. Right? So in my head, and there's so I completely forgot to show the SMTs. There is SMTs on both sides. There was an SMT here on ES. It's not gonna show on the 15 minute, but just know we weren't in these 15 minute gaps on ES during this time. Go back down to the 1 minute. So, you know, I don't enter on the candle close because it's a very big, like the RR wasn't there for me. What I did was I entered on the retester route up here, targeting. What was I targeting? I don't remember what I was targeting. I think it was like maybe the fulfillment of this gap, or maybe it was the start of this 1 minute gap, but with a it was the start of this 1 minute gap with it going up. So I was waiting. I set a limit order right here, and my order got filled obviously, and I instantly got stopped out. Now, this trade looks good because I had my fair value gap, I had my liquidity sweep, I had my SMT, I had my displacement through the fair value gap. Why was it not good though? If we're just using market analysis, I mean, look at that V shape. Like, swept, boom, instantly rally. I know we're bearish long term, but as of right now, we're pretty bullish during market open. And also looking back at it, I mean, this gap wasn't even in premium, man. Like, if you measure from the top of London high down, premium is above the 50% mark for sells. Basically equilibrium. This gap wasn't even equilibrium, bro. This was not a good trade in my opinion. This was a pretty forced trade. You know, I probably wouldn't be saying this. I probably wouldn't be saying it. I don't mind an entry on this gap that is above equilibrium, you know. And that is a likely gap. Like, honestly, yeah, you could have taken this, you know. This one wouldn't have been too bad. 50 probably would have waited for a retest a little bit up, maybe. Taking that, targeting, like, I don't know, targeting maybe like these lows right here. Like, that's a good trade to me. Okay, I wouldn't be not mad at myself because I wasn't mad at myself, but like, I wouldn't count this as a mistake. This is a better trade. This has a more likelihood of reversing because we're in equilibrium. And probably would have pushed my stops right here. Like, nah, that's a little aggressive. Maybe like once we inversed right here, this gap I would have pushed. It's chop, inverse, so I'd be at break even here. And would have came back up, break even. But at least that trade would have been break even. But none of that would have happened if I looked at the 5 minute with my initial outlook, with my initial trade that I wanted. I mean, this smacked. I would have been targeting this gap, easiest 2.4 RR. You know, mistakes happen though. I'm not gonna dwell on it. I had a very good week last week. Just because I made one mistake today doesn't mean I set my progress back. I know these are improvements. I'm still accepting. I'm still like taking responsibility for my trading. I'm not just being like, oh man, I had all my confluences, market just wasn't there. Like, no, man, I made a lot of mistakes in today's trading day, and I paid for it. I had an L. Not a big L. I mean, I barely lost 1%. That's what risk management is there for, when either market's not on your side or you make those mistakes, because as a trader, those mistakes are inevitable. Just don't beat yourself up over it. Figure out what you did wrong and move on. So yeah, I just want to make this trade recap more to like accept your mistakes and, you know, don't blame market for everything. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching.